Elliott, could you just kind of talk and explain about one shot and what that means to you?
Yeah, it's a tattoo I have on my left forearm. It has to do mainly with kicking. I think for kickers, it's a lot different in games than it is for any other position. I mean, just look at, for quarterbacks, they may be like 60% passing percentage is really good, right? But that's terrible for a kicker. Really, basically, a quarterback misses a throw here or there. A linebacker misses a tackle here and there. It doesn't really matter too much. But when you miss as a kicker, you really are defined by your misses, and that really stands out in games.
Other questions for Elliott? Left side toward the back.
Elliott, what's it like being the only kicker invited to SEC Media Days?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm really excited to be here. Definitely an honor to be here. But yeah, I mean, I love being a kicker, and this is really cool.
Front row, right side. There's your mic.
Elliott, what kind of routine do you go through to prepare yourself to kick?
Well, the same routine every time, but really nothing too crazy. I'm not very superstitious, but really just more about focusing, taking my steps, making sure I'm mentally in the right state to kick the ball. But I guess when we start having the ball on offense, round to 50, that's when I'll start kind of warming up my leg, start kind of getting in my zone and stuff, and just get ready for the kick.
Left side on the wall here.
Elliott, you mentioned, when you miss, everybody kind of looks at you. What's the biggest one you remember making, and what's the biggest miss that you remember?
Let's see. Biggest make would be probably my freshman year in the Missouri, the double overtime. I made that 40-yarder that I guess ended up being the game winner. Let's see about the miss. Well, and there was a 58-yarder in Tennessee that I kind of wish I had that one back. That was could have tied it in overtime, and it's a really far kick, but I didn't hit it the way I wanted to, even if I did miss, and I wish I had that one back.
Front row here on the left side. Go ahead.
Elliott, talk about playing with diabetes. I know you're a big sponsor, if you will, a supporter of JDRS. Just talk about that.
Yeah, well, first of all, playing with diabetes kind of presents a challenge. While everybody's getting kind of, especially kickers, getting acclimated to the wind, the weather, the turf or the grass, kind of kicking being a really mental thing. I'm really focused during the game on my blood sugars, and even before the game on, testing my blood and making sure that my blood sugar's in the right area. Because, as I'm sure you guys can see, if I were to go into a game with a low blood sugar and try to attempt a field goal, and my blood sugar is low or high or anything, and I miss because of that, that can obviously take a huge turn and really affect the game. But I'd say I'm not really working with JDRF or anything, but I definitely, on their behalf, kind of talk about it. I talk to a lot of kids, a lot of families about diabetes, and about kind of encouraging them to see that you don't have to be held back by diabetes in any way, that you can achieve whatever it is you want to do, even though you have diabetes.
Other questions for Elliott Fry, left side here on the wall.
Elliott, I'm not sure how much you look at the program's all-time record books or anything like that, but if you stay on pace, you're set to shatter the all-time scoring record, be USC's all-time leading scorer. Did you know about that? And if you didn't, how do you feel about it?
Well, that would be pretty cool, I guess. It's definitely something you would want to happen. The thing with that, too, is, you don't really need to be, as a kicker, you don't really need to be focused on a record to, what I'm saying is if, you're a quarterback trying to get a certain number of passing yards is a little bit different. I try to make every kick, and with trying to make every kick, that would kind of help me out in the record books. But it is, I've seen the record in the stadium a couple times, and, you can't help but think about it sometimes.
Other questions for Elliott Fry? So I see a couple hands back here on the left. Go ahead.
Just a second ago, Coach Spurrier said that you're the greatest kicker in South Carolina history. And so that might be a big deal. But how far do you think you can go this season, and could you become one that's not only South Carolina history, but also just all of college history?
Well, that's definitely a big honor coming from Coach Spurrier. He's been around a lot of kickers, a lot of kickers that are now pros, like Ryan Suckup and Spencer Lanning. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. But, I think this year, I'm going in with a good attitude. As a kicker, you try to make everything. You go in with the attitude that you are going to make everything. And I think, if I really focus, I think I can be one of the top kickers in the nation.
We'll stay on the left side, and then we'll switch back over to the right. Go ahead.
Elliott, Coach Spurrier said a minute ago he didn't feel like your team was all that far away from getting back to 10 wins. Could you just comment on, I guess, if you agree with that?
Yeah, I think, last year, nobody on our team is satisfied with the record last year. But, if you do look at a lot of the games, they were coming down to one or two plays. So I think, that says something about it. But I think, this year we have all the players have a really good intensity about them. We're ready to get back out there. We're ready to, our defense is ready to hit, and our offense is ready to make some plays.
Elliott, we're going to move up over here to the right side, second row.
A minute ago, Elliott, you mentioned wanting the 58-yarder back against Tennessee. That's pretty far out for a kick. How far back do you feel comfortable where you think I should make this kick?
Like I said, as a kicker, you expect to make every kick. And that obviously depends on the conditions you're playing in. That game, I thought, 58 is, it's a pretty far field goal, and I knew that, but that was kind of the only chance we had to get back in it, because it was like fourth down, and I think it was pretty far. So I just got to be ready for it, and I got to put my best efforts forward.
Other questions for Elliott? Left side here on the wall.
Your old holder, Patrick Fish, probably didn't get a lot of credit he was due. He's not here anymore. How much of an adjustment will it be to, get used to Drew Williams and another holder?
Yeah, definitely. Fish and Rylan were both, they were great snapper and holder. We worked really well together. But, in the spring we have, Drew Williams and our new transfer punter, Sean Kelly, who's been, I think he held the FAU too. They've done a great job this spring, and we've been working really well together.
Other questions for Elliott? Right side in the back.
Have you had the chance to get to know many other kickers around the Southeastern Conference, and who have you gotten to know if you have?
Yeah, the thing about kickers is we pretty much all know each other. We go into camps, I guess, in high school and stuff like that. We pretty much all know each other personally, and if not, we all know who each other are. I'd say I'm pretty good friends with the Kentucky punter and kicker, Austin McGinnis and Landon Foster. Yeah.
We have time for one more for Elliott, if there is one. Okay. We do have one in the back. Left side on the aisle there.
We kind of assume we know what guys do to get bigger and faster, to get more accurate, more distance. What are some things that a kicker works on in the off season?
Kickers are always trying to get, bigger and stronger too, but, the biggest thing for kickers is staying consistent. It doesn't matter if you can kick, and I said this in another room, it doesn't matter if you can kick an 80-yard field goal. I don't think anybody's ever attempted that in the history of football. So, that doesn't really matter. It's all about, how many you're making and really how consistent you are.